Hello, everybody, and welcome to TAP, the Awokilumo podcast. And we are excited today to have the presence of one of the amazing students of the School of Politics, Policy, and Governance in the person of Madam Bushra Balogun. And today she is going to be taking us through a number of exciting experiences as a student of SPPG class of 2024. And with me is my co-host.
Oluwakemi Edeji. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay,
Good
so I'm
afternoon.
very excited. Just like Balkis mentioned, we are having a fantastic guest this afternoon, and I will
100.
not jump the gun. I would like her to introduce herself. She's very precious to us, and we really want to appreciate her coming, being the pioneer guest on this podcast. Kindly introduce yourself to us.
You, Kemi, and thank you, Belkis. You ladies are looking all bright and beautiful, and I'm glad to be raising this wonderful online occasion, I like to call it. Yes, I'm glad that I'm your first guest on the podcast, and I'm happy to be doing this. My name is Bushra Temitope Balogun. I'm the current student of the SPPG 2024 cohort. I'm the group leader of the community of practice group called Taraya Community Group 16, and I'm also the group leader of the capstone group called Citizens Participation in Governance. Yes, so I wear two hats in SPPG. I don't know how I do it, but it's God. I'm pushing it.
Yeah.
All the SPPG struggles. Yeah, outside SPPG, I'm a policy analyst, and also I work as a public servant. Yeah, areas of interest: public policy, gender and social inclusion, project management, and public speaking, of course. Yeah, I'm passionate about
Yeah.
Nigeria. I'm passionate about being a part of that critical mass of young people when we were hoping would be the ambassadors or the change Nigeria need, and that's the reason I decided to join the SPPG, and it's been a wonderful experience. I'm glad about the people I've met. I'm happy about the faculty, the quality of learning, the quality of people. I have some awesome and beautiful ones here. Excuse me, hosting me today, and it's been a wonderful community as the it has been awesome. So I'm glad to be here, and I'm happy to share my experience. It's been a wonderful one so far. Thank you for having me.
Amazing self introduction. Thank you
Yeah,
so much,
Privilege.
Bushra. I know we will hear a lot from you this afternoon. So, Balkis, what do you have for Bushra again?
I've heard a number of things: policy analyst, a project manager, a public servant. I mean, you just like the P word, a public speaker. What's happening? But then it's okay that you are in love with the P words because this is also politics. My question is that what exactly excited you or inspired you to for this background that you have actually set for yourself? Because it sounds like a very intentional process to me, like a very intentional direction or a journey, if
Yeah.
it makes any sense at all. So yeah. So what exactly inspired this journey, if I may ask?
had my journey. Okay, I'll say it started from the university. I got into my background is actually in biological science. Interestingly, I studied microbiology.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember when I was in school, 200 level. I don't believe that. I While I was in school, of course, I was just a regular student. But I remember when I was in 200 level, it was going to be the regular student in non-government election, and I used to have friends then that were like, I think they were in final year, and one of them were contesting. He had approached me that was going to need my help. At least I think I was the only lady in their midst then. I was like, oh yeah, this is good. I would like to support. Let's see how we can do this. He wanted to run for office, and that was it. And I was very instrumental in winning the election. Of course, they emerged the winner, and from then I realized something. So there was something different in the election. I noticed that that cabinet
Mm.
was dominated by men. And the only position left for women were the very tokenistic position of is that your food hostel rep or your food rep or something. What do they call it? I can't remember the way they put it, how they label it. Food something, I don't know. Yes. No, I asked myself, like, what's happening? So now I was asking questions like, why? Was it that the ladies are not capable enough? They were telling me about how in the history of the school has never even had a female vice president, not talk of a president. while I know that across other schools, most the vice president is mostly female, even though the president like is exclusively
Yes.
male. But it's just that of course it's been male dominated, given the structure and the dynamics around politics and all. But we still have women sometimes struggle. But even the vice president at our own end has never been taken over by has never been contested or occupied by a female. And I thought myself, why not? Try. And yeah, sorry, that was my first year. Sorry. My second year, I told myself I was going to do this. And I attempted it. Yeah, it didn't really end well because of there was so many. Yeah, it came with a lot of trouble. It came with a lot of barrage, attacks, and all that.
True.
But one thing that
Yeah.
experience left me with is the fact that there's still a lot of gap in terms of education, in terms of knowledge, in terms of culture,
Mm.
cultural acceptance for women in leadership. And I knew that we needed to change that narrative. So I told my at that point
True.
I picked more interest. I think it sort of spiked that. I never knew I had that in me. Just spiked something in me. I told me, Bushra, you have a role to play. So I started volunteering,
Yes.
community activities, political activities in school generally. I was part of NANT at a point, go for conventions and all. And that was how the whole thing started for me. But I just knew that I have a role to play in the society. I knew that if I want certain changes, I have to be part of those changes, and I have to contribute my quota to see those changes happen. That's how I started. So by the time I left school, I don't even think I already had I think the microbiology passion was already gone. I was just all out for development. I was all out for development, and I just wanted something to do with service. And that's how I got into the development space, started volunteering. I did a couple of youth fellowship program in Nigeria. I started with one at the German, there's a German international organization called Friedrich Ebert Stiftung. So they have an open mind young voices program. I was part of the second cohort that was right after service in 2018. I was the UN Women Young Leader. I was the partner West Africa Young Leader. I was a plaque, that's policy, legal, and advocacy center. They have a program called Legislative Internship Program where young people intern at the National Assembly. I was part of it. I was also a member of the One Champion, and then I came to Kashim Ibrahim Fellowship. So I did a couple of them like that, and that through Kashim Ibrahim Fellowship, I got into Kaduna State government, working as a special assistant to the governor of Kaduna State. I was in Kaduna State for 2 years. Last year again, I went back to worked as a policy associate for a policy consulting firm. Back again now to development. I'm currently working with international NGO that works across Africa, and they deal in public policy as well. So I work as a policy analyst and I also consult for public officials, public servants. Yeah, so that's basically it. And I just felt okay with SPPG. I also needed to learn more and just broaden my knowledge, and that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Amazing, 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 Bushrat. I celebrate you. Such an impressive curriculum, Vatae. However, I know that it couldn't have been that easy for you to switch from microbiology to public policy. So how were you able to do it? Did you have a mentor or did you have series of mentors that actually guided you, that put you on the path? Or you read it up, you made a research yourself, it was a personal journey, a personal development journey. Please let us know about this.
I would say I have mentors at some point, but at the point I made that decision, it was more of a personal development journey. Like I mentioned earlier, I had left school with the passion of service and development. So I knew the best part to fit in myself in terms of career path was intentional development. I started volunteering, worked with different I worked with certain organization around gender, governance, politics, public policy. But of course, along the line, yeah, that
Mhm.
having mentors, I could at least name a couple of them that have actually been very instrumental. Most of them are still present in my life, and they've been guiding me through. And interestingly, as I move along, it seems like I keep having more. Yeah, because another thing I noticed is you
Mm.
have people that see that passion in you, and they see that passion in you. They just really want to support you. They want to push you and help you keep going on. So yeah, I got a couple of mentors along the way, and I still have them, and I still hope to have more because I don't think they're ever enough. There's so much to learn from different persons, their different experiences, and those experiences and those knowledge cumulatively, of course, has been instrumental in my growth and my development. So, Balkis, over to you.
I love the fact that it is a journey, and that journey was not just you walking alone. It was a journey where you had people who are very much interested in your journey with you. Yeah. And so that brings me to my next question that upon joining SPPG with all of the many things you have at hand, how easy has it been for you as a person? I mean, SPPG is a meal on its own. Having to eat all the other things that is on your plate, how exactly has it been? Because I know that that's the question that we really need to get through. How has it been managing SPPG and every other thing around you?
Balkis, I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot to consume, really. Can you see my body size? Yes. So imagine this having a large meal. How would I finish it?
Yeah.
That is exactly how SUPD is. Like, it's really a lot. Tell you, it's a lot. Although because it's actually is worth the effort and it's something
Yeah,
you look forward to every day. So I think it's just that drive of whatever it is, whatever it takes, I'm going to do this. I made the decision to be here. I'm going to be here. I'm going to go all out for it. I'm going to make the most of it. I'm going to achieve the most of this, and I'm going to try to put in my best. So just putting my best foot forward and see how I can benefit from this, because I know that it's not something. This is the once in a lifetime thing, not something I'll come back to do again. Once I'm done with SCPG now, I'm
Yeah.
moving to other things. So for me, I just have this mindset of when you want to do something, please go all out for it. Of course, it will come with certain inconveniences, but you just have to make some sacrifices, and you realize that it's actually going to be worth it, because it's not going to be there forever. It's just for a short period, and by the time you look back and you realize, okay, yes, yeah, it was worth the effort. So for me, I think
All right.
that's the mindset I came with. So like I mentioned earlier, I'm a group leader of two significant groups in SCPG. Is
I
a
was about to touch on that. So please hold, Bushra, because I'm about to ask you a question with regards to that. So you are the group leader of your group, one, and you're also the group leader of your capstone projects. Even before now, from what you have discussed with us, one could hear that from what you have discussed that you have dealt with a lot of team, a group of people. How have you been able to manage the team members that can be very lethargic towards projects and without you necessarily being autocratic in your decision making, because as a team you want to carry everybody along? How have you been able to manage, create a balance with the administration?
How have I been able to manage? It's for me, I think I actually, when I first started, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I just knew that I wanted to step up. And yeah, I just wanted to take responsibility and see how things will move on. Because, of course, when you're in a team like that, someone just needs to get the team going. Someone needed to make that push so others can follow. And that was the role in my head I was assuming. And somehow, for both things, they just decided, okay, Bushra, you started it, go on with it. And that was how I came. I became the group leader groups. And then interestingly, it's not been so easy. Like you said, people are different. But then again, the work has to go on because you have a timeline, you have a deadline, right? The work just has to go on. So sometimes you will have to maybe go out of your way. Let's say like COP group now. COP is not even as demanding as capstone group. Community of
yeah,
practice, maybe once in a while you just have to, when you have assignments or certain things away. So I try to go out of my way to even reach out to people personally, just to follow up and see that at least they are showing up. I know that we're
yeah.
different, so you have to pull certain people. Yes, I have to, and it's still not easy because I had an experience recently in my corp group. It wasn't a good one for me. I almost asked myself, like, why am I even here despite my effort? It was like, despite your effort, some people still don't appreciate you. It's part of those things you have to experience in leadership. Leadership is a thankless job. Just do what you have to do. Don't do it because you're expecting someone to come and tell you thank you. Do it because you know you need more. You need to drag that one. You need to really drag people to do what they have to do because you have a target and a timeline. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you meet any of my teammates, sometimes they call me the because make the decision that I have to. So sometimes I could really be autocratic because I know that this decision has to be made. Someone just needs to make it and we need to move on. So you have to wait for everybody. Do you understand? It might not work. So that's how I do it.
Fantastic. So, on that note, I would like to ask you a direct question. We are all Nigerians and we are citizens of Nigeria, patriotic about our country. What kind of leadership do you prescribe for Nigeria?
For me, I think Nigeria needs a strong and visionary leadership. There's something we did the other day in class called Letters Memoir, the concept of strong leadership. I think I've held on to that thing. And for me, it just shows sort of shows that we are, our number is a lot. Of course, not like I'm going to say that's the reason because we have countries like China and India, and to an extent, they are doing well, right? Yes, so our number is actually a lot. But then again, so Nigerians are not people that you can actually, my people Yoruba will say you have to Emma forward like you have to handle them with an iron hand. Yes, Nigerians sometimes are not, you just have to make certain decisions. No, like I said earlier, Nigeria is where you say you build a gutter, don't pour refuse here. Come back after 3 months. That drainage is already filled. So sometimes you just have to take certain decisions. But then again, for me, I think majorly what we need in Nigeria is strong leadership, a visionary leadership. We need leaders that that are forward thinking. Leaders, of course, they are empathetic. You taking strong decision does not mean you should lose your empathy. No, leaders that are strong, leaders that can stand their ground. Look at what is happening in Rwanda, Kagame. Some people have the school of thought that he's the dictator, but he's making the country work, right? So we need that kind of leadership, but of course, with
Absolutely.
just a bit of with some empathy to it, so that the people can also listen to, you understand, and they can follow. There was something in class yesterday, one analogy of a cow crossing a river, all of them went through. So
Yes,
imagine we have
yes,
that one person
yes.
that can actually stand and say, "This is a straight line. We're going on a straight line. Everybody goes on that straight line." We're sure that everybody's going to go that way. So we just need that one person, that kind of leader you get, that can actually just make that change and is very intentional about it.
Fantastic.
Very
Thank you very
thoughtful
much.
way
Thank you.
of
So,
putting it.
Marcus, I yield the floor to
Yeah.
you.
Oh, no problem. Thank you so much. And my question is very simple. Yeah, you already like you have a grasp of what it should be like, what is going to happen, and all of that family of things. Now the question is, do you think that as Nigeria is the kind of leader that we think that we need, the one that is, that person that can move us on that straight line? Do you think that with the current crop of youth that we have, can we get that kind of leader? Let's say even without having them
Well,
go through SPPG. Yeah.
type of leader we have, sincerely, if you ask me, as I think we need a new crop of leaders, a new pipeline of leaders that are going to turn things around. Because I
Mm,
just have this belief that it's easy to change. You get when something is formed, it's a bit difficult for it to begin to make a change. But it's easy for you to grow something. Do you understand? Nurture something to grow and build it into what you want, shape it into what you want. So I think the group of leaders we have now they're already formed. There's little we can do really to begin to change them. But I believe we can inject new set of leaders with the right mindset and with the necessary skills needed, do you understand, to occupy those leadership positions and be effective to produce the kind of change we want. And that is why I think most of us have committed ourselves to SPP. Even you get most of us have committed to say yes, we want to do things differently, right?
yeah.
We want to become that new set of people
Yeah.
that would be able to get to turn things around and turn the tides of leadership in Nigeria. So
Okay.
imagine we
So,
have
mm,
more people like us come on board. We have more and more, and people whose minds have actually been refined and are really pumped and ready to do the right job, to do the job, of fixing Nigeria, fixing our politics and all, just so we can get that change we want. For me, I think we just need that. We need that critical mass of people, that new set of people that will turn things around.
okay. So, if you get the new mass of people that can turn things around, yeah, let's look at the way things are generally. Can SPPG afford in manpower to actually train 10,000 people in a cohort. Because when you say inject into the current system, have you
Mm.
thought of the case of weed strangling the crop? Do you get what I'm saying? So, in the case of the weed strangling the crop, we need a critical mass of people that understands what needs to get done and how it should be done. So, do you think that as SPPG, or is there a way that you think SPPG can actually train the likes of us, okay, let's say now we are about 200 and something, can 10,000 get into this program and we are able to say, yes, we got the right people to inject into the system? Do you think that's possible?
This, sincerely, when it comes to change, change does not need a lot of people. If you're waiting for many people, it won't even happen. It
Mm,
takes it takes either probably one person or a few people to spike it, to ignite something. Look at how Enter started. It started by just one person thinking this thing was not right. I mean, look at most movements like that. Most movements, they don't happen by having everybody on board. You can't even get everybody on board. That's the fact. You just need to have like-minded that you get that have a shared vision and a shared goal to say this is what we want to do, right? I believe even if it's 1,000 of us, SCPG are able to produce. If one person out of say we have 1,000, if one
Okay.
person can touch 100, 200, 300 lives, which begin to cascade it and it begins to spread like a wildfire, before you know it is going down. And that's why for me, I think the only way SPPG can work is not just for us to finish SPPG and leave it there. Okay, but kids, now I know what you do.
Mm.
I see your activities online, right? I see how you go to schools. I see how you impact people. Do you understand? That is how it's going to go. But imagine we all finish SPPG and well, we've learned the knowledge. I'm okay now. I think I know what I know. I know what I should do, and I go to sit down. That's why for me, I like to work with young people a lot. It's just that lately I've not even really had time. But if you look at my timeline, go to my social media, I used to like to go to schools. I do it out of pocket. Just go to talk to young people because I feel it's at that age. We
we
now, to an
impact them.
extent, there's something good. But you see those people, they are now we are not the future anymore. We are the today. You see those ones, they are that future we're talking about. They are currently the future of this country. So imagine if I want to run for office in 10 years or 20 years, right? In 10 years time, for example. And these young people I'm talking to, maybe some of them are like 13, 14, 15 now. In the next 10 years, they're probably going to be the ones that are like 20 something, right? And
Yeah.
they're going to be the one that will form the highest
Exactly.
block of the voting age. But because I've made those impacts with them, they know me already, they're familiar with me. So with that, I already have a certain influence on them. So it will be easy for me when I'm coming out to say yes. These people will even be the ones to recognize that, oh, Bushra is out. No, we know her. She's done this. We're coming out to support her. So I think let's not stop just in class. Let's find a way to spread the message, impact more people, and the more impact you're able to make on people, the more the ripple effects would have. I think that's just
That,
the simple,
that exactly
yeah,
is the message.
about it.
Thank you. So while you were talking, I could, yes, I would like to clarify a thought, and that is, do we necessarily need to create another political group to be able to make an impact? Because if we're saying that we need to recoup or we need to groom some people, I want to believe that already the people are injected into the system, but they're somewhat silenced or um, unnoticed, or maybe they haven't come to express their intention to run, or they feel that they are, like you said, leadership is thankless job. Maybe they are not as recognized as they should. There's no spotlight on them yet, so people don't really know who they are. I wouldn't know the history of Rollins. I don't know whether Rollins has been in existence before all of a sudden we started hearing about Rollins. But this was somebody that really shook Ghana and shook Ghana for good. Okay. So when you're talking about we need people, are we saying that currently in our um, various political parties, we do not have those people, or are they behind the scenes? The ones that are coming out are the ones that are the bad eggs, or what exactly? Can you shed more light on that? And please, before you go, there's one man that's been making a lot of news, in Nigeria now, Governor of Abia State, Governor Oti. He has been making a lot of news. He's been making a lot of positive impacts. And it's quite impressive what he has done. And I realized that he's a member of APGA. That's the Alliance of Progressive Grand Alliance. No, All Progressive Grand Alliance member. And this is a political party that just is relatively new compared to the ones PDP and APC. So, are you suggesting that there's a need for us to create a new political group where we have like minds that can run things?
Okay, I talked about, of course, the different set of young people, right? Okay, now let's come to, I think what you're addressing is the people who have currently.
Yeah.
Currently, I still believe, I think definitely we have people now with the right set of people that can actually do it. But then again, what kind of politics are we playing? So some of them would necessarily not want to associate with that kind of politics. So that's why I think we need to fix our politics first before we can get the right people on board, because politics determines who gets into government, right? And that determines the kind of governance we get, whether good or bad. So if we're able to fix our politics, then we can. Some people they cannot necessarily cope with the kind of climate you get. Some is toxic for them. It's some it's not something that is not what we practice. Not things that align with their values. So they rather just stay off and not come on board. So for me, I don't know whether we. Of course, there are new political parties existing. We don't have to reinvent the wheel and say we want to keep creating more. We can pump ourselves. Let's begin to dominate those small parties, because editing a political party, I'm a very realistic person. Editing a political party in Nigeria is not easy. So instead of trying to invent that, we went there's some parties that already exist, just that they're actually probably just dominant. Is not. Look at what you said about Alex. He has been there for a while. Of course, before he moved to Labour Party to join. So he's had the experience of politics. That's another thing. Join early. Let's start early. Don't wait and say it's 20. Like for me now, I'm already
Mm.
thinking this next election. I try to participate through join a political party just so I can experience what politics is like. No, I'm not a card carrying member of any party yet. I know that very soon I have to make that decision and join a political party, right? So it's high time we let's
Mm.
decide. Join a political party, begin to participate. You don't even have to run for office yet. You could be part of the ESCOs. People don't understand that. But internal party politics is actually where these troubles come in, because that is where delegates are elected. Delegates are the ones that make the choice. So imagine if your delegates are dominated by sensible, right thinking people, you get with the right mindset. They'll definitely produce someone like them. But when there are same people that they get, they will probably look around for people like them there too. But if everybody that have competence, capacity, and character, then there's every tendency that the person they will produce is someone like them too that has that three C's. So I think my own is, aside the talking and the getting of knowledge, let us go to a political party, join a party, whether it's mobilization, whether it's organization, just join first. Let's begin to pump ourselves into these parties. So the more we pump ourselves, it could be SDP, it could be APGA, it could be Labour Party. Someone was talking about on social media the other day. Election is coming. That I checked around that the Labour Party, they are even taking it a bit strong. That you know up to now, most of them don't even have, maybe some of them don't even have agents already. But maybe APC already have their structure and PDP sorted out already. Then they will not come and say they want to win the election. How is that possible? Let's be realistic with ourselves. So if you know that we want to make this change or want to fix, because we need first thing is fix politics, and for you to fix politics, you have to get involved.
Yeah.
Once we dominate those parties and we have a stronghold there, then we can begin to turn things around, then to reflect automatically in the kind of people it is.
Oh, thank you very much, Bob. Before I yield the floor to Bob here, I really want to talk to us, Bushrat. It's as I don't want to be affirmative with this statement because I do not have a fact or data to back it up. But I realize that we do take our time in this climb before we launch out. Like you rightly said now, election is coming 2027. Already we're thinking, oh, we are still in 2024. Whereas the people that are focus driven would have started doing their groundwork by now. They will not wait until 2027. But a large number of us will start our preparation 2026. Why is it always like that? And not just election, even in our various personal activities, personal engagements, why do we always wait till the last moment before we begin to put all the gears in action?
I don't know. I think people, it's just, I think it's just about management and timing and planning. Yeah, let me put it that way. Because we also need to understand that things take time. Some, except you're someone that is maybe so established or grounded. If I can have an idea I want to execute. Do you understand? I need to make plans. That's why I need to have a work plan. I need to do project management plan and how to do it. So I think it's just an element of, that's why I feel like, as for me, I think project management skill is just what everybody in this life should have. Because for every point in your life, for everything you're handling, whether it's events you're planning, whether it's a birthday, it's project management because it requires resources, it requires scheduling, it requires timing. You get, that's it. So people should understand the place of project management and why you need to plan. So that once you plan, it makes your effort, very smooth. It makes it go easily. You're able to follow through and say you don't even drop the ball on some things. I know when to start. So you know that okay, if you plan, sit down to plan, you don't realize this thing, it can't take 2 weeks. So. But in our head, because we feel like we're superheroes, I think not 1 year, I can do it. No. But if you think it's that I know someone now that's thinking of running for office. At this point, I'm telling you, even though he hasn't necessarily picked a political party yet, but he has started his groundwork of meeting with grassroots clusters to see how we can begin to talk to them, engage them through programs and activities. Yet even people around are beginning to notice there's someone doing something, right? So that's how it should be. So that kind of person already knows that. So we had the discussion, I have to push the person towards a bit reluctant. I'm like, no, start now. And he has already started. I said, because you think you have time, but you don't have time. So now he's beginning to reach out, and I'm glad he's taking that step already. I think it's just knowing what to prioritize and knowing that no, we don't think you have time and wait till the dying minute. Start early, start planning early. Start that way. You probably next 1 year. Imagine this person I'm talking about. Maybe the next 1 year, has to build up his army already. His army is already, and they're ready. So by the time he's going all out, you won't even know that he has already started a background work of meeting people. Then you just see him go all out. You're wondering where did this wave come from? OT was it for OT? OT has been a politician before, right? He has already built those blocks. So when he was ready to launch, it was easy for them to rally around him. So it's just about trying starting early.
Thank you very much, Bushrat. So, Marcus,
Thank you so much for this conversation because I like the last part where you talked about the fact that every single thing in your life is a project. Every single thing around you is a program. And so either you like it or not, you've got to make sure that you are planning. Yesterday, I said that your life is a program, it's a project, either you like it or not. And so you must get something done part time. So my first question
mm,
and rounding
yeah,
up for this episode will be this. We have talked about the various angles of being a student of SPPG, doing what needs to be done, and all of that. Now, as individuals, you also talked about the fact that we need to start now. It's not until that year, that. So, what are those criteria for you as a person? Maybe somebody can pick from in saying, okay, I want to launch into politics. I want to go for my political career. So what are those things I am looking at actually engaging with any party, organization, or that I want to be a part of? Because these are some of the things that makes it hard for some people to even want to show up at all because they can't even take that time to think of what should I look for in each, in each party and all of that. So what are those things that you think a person should look out for when launching into this space? So that they don't feel like, oh, they've made a mistake or they rushed into it and all of that. Yeah.
And they usually, no, you hear this thing a lot about our politics. One of the politics is not have ideology, like we have in other clients. But I think we actually do have ideology. We have values, right? So if I see Kemi going somewhere, maybe a political party, do you know, somehow I would definitely, because I know Kemi, I know where Kemi is coming from. I just want to believe there's something taking Kemi there, right? And so if I'm going to be looking, I'll just look at, okay, I know Kemi, I know her value, I know what she stands for, right? So for us to join this political party, it sort of aligns with her value. And because I have some values that are akin to Kemi's value, right? I would naturally just want to, do you understand, associate myself with it. I think what people, even though, like I said, our politics necessarily do not have ideology, we can create those ideologies. And I think it's very simple. It's all about having values. One thing that helped Singapore is that Singapore created a shared value. Like they have a value, like a national value everybody lives by. So if it's there's meritocracy,
Yes.
Meritocracy is very strong.
I can't remember the remaining two, but they have three values. So imagine I'm going to a
Yeah.
political party now. There's certain things I'm looking out for, right? I'm looking at the people that, even if you don't have an ideology yet, trust me, I'm looking at the people that are going there. If I'm going to a political party and I see like five,
Absolutely.
there are five people in SPPG I know, right? So for me, like I said, even though the party does not have a defined ideology yet, but you can go and say this is the ideology, maybe the ideology that, but I mean, the
Mm.
people there, do you get, have values, right? Just look at the values of the people around. It's very easy for you to know, and you say, okay, these people's value align with my value. It could be that you get, they prioritize competence, they prioritize integrity, they prioritize character, they prioritize consensus orientation, they prioritize stewardship, they prioritize accountability, transparency. Those things are the things you watch out for and say, okay, yes, this is the kind of party I want to align with because their values and they're also the vision of the people going there.
Mm.
That's it.
Thank you very much, Bushra. So, each time we have our courses, our lectures, there's this disturbing concern that I have. So I listen to these brilliant lecturers, I listen to these brilliant faculties that come from time to time, spend time with us, 2 hours or 3 hours of their lifetime with us. And the same thing, they keep repeating the same thing about the issues we have in the country. Unfortunately, okay, let me say unfortunately, most of them are even they have a relationship with the authorities. So I
Yeah.
wonder, is it that they are talking and our leaders are not hearing? Or what exactly is the problem? Because if you are this knowledgeable, you have all this wealth of wisdom and information and data to back it up, and you come to give us this lecture from year to year. This is the fourth cohort, and there is still no change. And there is relationship with the people and the significant leadership positions. So what exactly is the problem? Or we are just adamant that there shouldn't be any change in Nigeria?
I'm glad that you mentioned your response is actually in the question. You said it all. Is it that they're talking and they're not listening? It's as simple as that. And that's why I talk about find a leader whose vision aligns with yours. Because when your leader's vision contradicts yours, they may actually not listen to you because he's not thinking in the direction you're thinking. So it's very obvious that these people have all this knowledge. I know I ask myself those questions sometimes, like, see, with all this knowledge we have at disposal, with all the people's experiences, why is it that they cannot even do so much? And it be simple. You can only talk to a leader that wishes to listen. That's why one of the qualities of good leadership is listening. When your leaders are not listening or they don't even see the vision of what you see, you, at least my sister, you, how would you do? Someone said the other day was where I think we have a group chat where we discuss and someone was talking about how and what's wrong with the essays of these people? I'm like, no. Even if you have the essays with the best brains in the world, if the leader is not
Mm.
someone that would listen to those solutions or they'll see those solutions as see them as being important for them to implement, or that does not necessarily see the objective or the need, I'm sorry, there's really nothing you can do. No, propose all the best solutions, best ideas in the world. And that's why I like something Dr. Obi said in our class. She said, it comes a time when you begin to choose who your bosses are. And it's true. Choose your bosses. It comes a time
Yes.
in life
Yes.
when you have to choose your bosses. And it's actually, I held on to that because it's actually
Yeah.
very valid. Because I cannot imagine I'm working with you and you're 46.
Absolutely.
Someone like me, I cannot, I'm sorry, I can't. I see people that work with some of these, someone was asking me some of these leaders, like, I get frustrated easily, I would leave. Because I can't imagine I'm telling you,
Mm.
let's take the solution, let's do this. This is the answer. You don't even see the need for it, or you don't even see that something important. I'm going to ask myself, what am I doing here? What's my use? What impact am I making? So impact driven that if I'm working somewhere and it's not giving results, my body is already itching me to move on. Like I can't. I'm big on results so much. What moves me, what drives me is
Mm.
results. Trust me, if I do something, I see results of 50%, it moves me to go like next I'm targeting 70%. From 70%, I'm targeting 80%. That's how I work. So imagine you're not even seeing any results.
Fantastic.
So that's the thing, Kemi. I think you've answered
Mm.
yourself. They just have leaders that don't listen and their feel is about their own interest above the collective interest of the people.
Mm.
All right. Thank you very much, Bushrat. I want to ask you, what do you think is the difference between bribery and incentivize? What they call PR. So those three words, I want to kindly differentiate it from
Fine.
your
What
own
yeah.
point of view.
Oh,
That's
okay.
another word to
Well,
push in and make
okay.
bribery more presentable.
Bribery for me is when you go out of the norm, or you try to break the rules to get some, yeah, just to get certain
Mm,
favors, and you try to buy your way through it just because you have the resources. So incentivizing is, you get, when you try to encourage people just to give them enough to do something. So incentivizing can even come after they've done that thing. Do you understand? So let's say, I'm doing a contract and we've gone through the bidding process, it's an open bidding process, everything went well. Do you understand? And after getting it, there are people that did the work, and I say, okay, because I want to appreciate you for what you did. Do you understand? I give you a gift and say I want to incentivize you because you did the right thing, and you expedited the process, and the process worked from the goodwill of my heart. Not because I'm telling you, let me take, we are going to remove everybody's paper and leave only my paper on the table. Do you understand? Incentivizing can be good because next time when I'm
yeah.
coming to do the work, the person, mind you, I did what I needed to do, right? I followed due process. It was after
Yes.
everything, I felt okay, I need to appreciate this person for the effort, not because I'm compelled to. So next time you get such kind of people, and
Mm,
just this person is proactive, then you get they're appreciative, which is a normal human. Say them,
mm,
they're naturally selfish people, and everybody wants to be seen and
mm.
recognized. That's the fact. That's why incentivizing comes up in certain places. They could not be like, okay, this person that appreciated me. I think it's just a natural thing when you do someone a favor, right? Just want
Yeah.
to respect. When you're coming, they'll just, this madam, he gets that appreciated us. Do you understand? They probably will just want to prioritize that this person is proactive, they're diligent with their work. Let's support them, that their support to make their work easier. So different from you now bribing someone, so that, because bribery at the end of the day can
Agree.
end up hurting other people. Do you understand? Because it's more like you're
Mm,
taking what belongs to
yeah.
others. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bushra. So, Balkis, I yield the floor to you.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining in. I mean, it was a full meal, and I am super excited for everybody who will take from this particular episode. But I learned a lot, and I would say that it also corroborated a number of things in my head, in my mind, about the work that we do in governance, in politics, and I think in our personal lives, because it all starts with you as a person. It's leadership is just from you. If you cannot lead yourself, you can't lead other people. So thank you so much for taking the time to be here. I mean, this is how many minutes? And I know that at the end of it, we are
Thank
not
you.
going to have anything less than 30 minutes of credible
Thank
work.
you for having
Thank you
me.
so much.
A good
Thank
time.
you.
And
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
our Kilumo Nation, thank you for doing
Thank
this.
you.
It's actually, I didn't know where you got
Thank you.
there
Thank you.
from, but yeah, it's actually a
Thank
good
you.
one, and it's quite
Thank you.
innovative. I like
Thank
the
you. Thank you
experiences.
so much.
Well done,
Thank you very
guys.
much. Thank you. Thank you.
Well done.
All right. So with this, we
Thank you. Help me celebrate Balkis. She's a brain supportive, been very
thank
supportive.
you. Thank you so
Thank you. It's a
much.
group
Thank
thing. Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you
well
so
done,
much.
well
Thank you
done,
very
well
much. So, Madam Oluwakemi, I'd like you to round
done.
up this episode of TAP, and then we can move on from here, and then we can say goodbye.
All right. So, on behalf of our Kilumo, I want to say a very special thank you to you, Bushra, for making our time to have this first podcast with us. You have actually broken records. Thank you for sharing your wealth of experience, your wealth of wisdom. You're a woman that is highly admired for your resilience, for your focus, for your determination,
Yeah,
and I really want to celebrate you.
thank you.
What is the reason why we actually came up with this? It's actually an initiative that is from the welfare team of the Awakolimo. We realize that in large number of times, leaders are often abandoned. Their emotional welfare is often abandoned. So we're like, we have to come together and just give kudos to ourselves, pat ourselves on the back, give ourselves flowers in our lifetime, not when the person is gone. That's when we'll not be writing a long tribute in memory of that person. And thank you so much for making our time. I want to believe that anytime you refer to this, you'll be proud of what you have done, because it's not just this is not just limited to SPPG viewers.
Yeah,
It's going to be on our YouTube channel,
yeah.
and for as many all over the world that can have access to it, they will have access to it,
Thank
and they're going
you.
to glean from your wisdom
Thank you.
and from your time. Thank you so much, Bushrat,
Thank you.
and thank you, Balkis.
All right. Thank you so
You.
much.
Thank Like Kemi, thank you for
Thank you.
doing this. Like I said, it's really
Thank
motivated.
you.
Yeah, you might not know what you're doing now, but this is something that's going to go out there, and someone might see it and might be benefiting
Thank
from
you.
it. So,
Thank
those
you.
guys, well,
Thank you so much. Do not forget to subscribe. If you do not want to watch the video, please move on to our Spotify and you are going to find the audio version of this podcast. However, until the next time we get to show up here with any of our beautiful people from our Kilumo or from any part of SPPG or any part of the world at all, enjoy, keep leading yourself so that you're capable of leading others. Thank you and enjoy. Bye.
Bye.